Hi, I'm a professor of economics at a undergraduate university, and I also teach courses in business analytics. So in this video, I want to talk about ChatGPT from a professor's perspective. This will be a brief video. There are a lot of videos on the functions of ChatGPT, what ChatGPT can do. But I wanted to test out a few scenarios where both faculty and students might use ChatGPT in their college work. So it is focused primarily at a couple of undergraduate classes. So just to offset, like what can ChatGPT be used for? There's a lot of fear among the academy that ChatGPT can be used for cheating, for plagiarism, etc., because it can generate content that is hard to be detected by the standard plagiarism checkers, etc. Even though there is a ChatGPT zero app. But the thing with ChatGPT is that it will keep learning from itself. So as people keep typing more text, it will, I think, include that in its training set. And it will be hard and hard to come up with content that ChatGPT has not seen. But besides that point, so I wanted to just talk about a couple of applications of ChatGPT. So what can ChatGPT do? I think ChatGPT has been trained on the documentation of most of the programming languages. It has been trained on the public documentation. So if in a data science or a computer class, somebody has a programming question, I think ChatGPT is a very good tool for that. So here I gave the prompt that write a program in Python that takes a numeric input from the user and reverses the number. And not only did ChatGPT provide that syntax, but it also explained what the program does. So this is already kind of going beyond just a Google search or a Stack Overflow search on how to do something. It's kind of explaining the method and the logic behind the steps that it took. Next, I wanted to dig a little deeper into some of the actual assignments that uh, uh, we might see given in an undergraduate programming and a data science class or an econ class. So here's a doubling time question where this program is finding the doubling time of an initial investment. And oftentimes exercises might be find the output of this code. So here I just typed this program in ChatGPT, and then it explains what the code is doing. And then you can also ask more detailed prompts. So here I ask ChatGPT to write a program that asks the user to input a positive integer and then calculates and displays the factorial of that number. And also being more specific, again, it's based on prompts. So the more prompts you give, the more specific the answers can be. So here we're also saying the prompt should call a function named getN that gets the input and guarantees that the input is a positive integer, so there's a check built in. And then that the factorial of the number input should be calculated with a function named fact. So I'm specifying the parameters within which that program should be written. And almost instantly, ChatGPT came up with the correct program. It does all the checks in there, gives a message if the checks fail, and then calculates the factorial. And then also explains this. So another related exercise could be a problem like this. You're given two salaries for 10 days of work. Option one pays you $100 every day. And the second option pays you $1, and then it doubles to the second day, $2, and then that doubles $4, etc. So after 10 days, which option would give you a higher return? And again, ChatGPT was pretty quick in coming out with a program that would test these options. And again, with explanations on what the code is. So what it seems is that it will be hard to give exercises or homework assignments which are asking the straight what question or asking students to write a code, because they can get assistance from ChatGPT. So rather than preventing the use of ChatGPT, we should figure out as faculty how we can integrate the use of ChatGPT in the coding. So again, this is a very good help. Students would traditionally have gone to Google or Stack Overflow to figure out what a code line does or how to do something. Here, ChatGPT synthesizes all that and provides a good interface and it remembers what was done. So then another realistic problem that I would do in one of my classes is to generate a synthetic data set and being able to do some data wrangling, convert this from the white format to long format. So I gave the prompt, generate a data set in white format, write a program in R to convert it into long format using the dplyr library. So it's specific about what library I want ChatGPT to be using. And it created a data set and gave me this. However, I think that's where some of the uh, issues might come up. It used gather and separate. These are dated commands within the dplyr library. I do not use them. I do not teach them. So if a student would have just copied and pasted this, it would have been a flag. What we cover is the pivot longer and pivot wider commands within the dplyr library. So in the next prompt, I told ChatGPT to redo the above example using pivot longer. And this time, it gave the output that I would have expected in the first place. So again, blindly copying and pasting might not work if some program or some syntax has not been covered in class and that appears. Yes, it may get the right answer, but that may raise a flag. So again, being mindful of what the prompts are and how to interact with this carefully. But again, I see this as an aid to learning. Then I asked an economic question. So, question was, which one is a better measure of inflation for policy purposes, consumer price index inflation or the PCED inflation? Now, typically in my intermediate class, principles of econ classes, I talk at length about CPI and then in passing about this deflator. The answer that ChatGPT gave was very detailed, and it even talked about some of the things that I would not typically cover in an intro level class. So this answer is in some ways too perfect, and that to an instructor could raise a flag. Even if it doesn't get flagged, it probably is original text, but it is based on some of the terminology that may typically not be covered in a principles level class. So, but again, if you're giving it factual questions, it is being able to come up with factual answers. Often, in this case, sometimes too detailed. The next, I wanted to give it a problem that I use in one of my business calculus classes. This is a two-step problem here. Students have to first construct an equation based on this word problem, and then they have to optimize to find the optimal solution. And when I gave this problem to ChatGPT, it did understand this is an optimization problem. It talked about what revenue is. However, it constructed the problem incorrectly and then gave an incorrect answer. But once ChatGPT has the function, so if it had to maximize this function R, it maximized it correctly. But then the function initially that was set up was incorrect. So I was wondering if it was a fluke or not. I gave it another problem that I work with. And again, this problem also involved two-step analysis, first to construct an equation and then to optimize that equation to find the optimal solution. And here again, it kind of got some of the elements correct, that the revenue will be coming from two sources, ticket sales and concession sales, but then in setting up the function, it again floundered a little bit. So the answer that ChatGPT came up with looked correct, but wasn't the correct answer. So here, once it has a function to optimize, it can do basic math problems. Like if I would have given a function to integrate or differentiate, ChatGPT would have done that correctly. But when it is a two-step critical thinking kind of a problem, where some prior thinking has to be done to frame the problem in the right way, it kind of had a couple of errors. However, I saw today in one of the updates that the developers have said that they have enhanced ChatGPT's capabilities to do mathematical reasoning better and to be able to do more factual analysis. So again, this is a generative AI which will keep getting better as people interact with it more and more. So there might be a stage where this problem could be set up and constructed correctly by ChatGPT and then in turn be solved correctly. And then I was curious if, as faculty, can it help us in generating quizzes and exams. So I just gave it a very simple prompt to create a 10-question multiple choice quiz on the measurement of national output using GDP. And to my surprise, it almost instantly gave me 10 questions, some of which can be used in my Principles of Econ class, along with the answers. So again, it could be a tool that faculty can use to obtain, to generate quizzes, to generate prompts for questions, etc. Next, I wanted to check really quickly ChatGPT's ability to correct or find syntax errors in commands. So I gave it a function to generate two arrays using the NumPy library. The first array will be a sequence of 1 through 10, and the second will be a sequence of 1 through 20, skipping 2. And there was an error in this command, and ChatGPT correctly said that this will throw an error. And also, it gave the correct syntax to generate this array. Then I gave it a problem in R. I teach time series, so in which often dates have to be parsed from text to a date field. So I asked ChatGPT how to parse this text field. So this is December 21st, 2023. That's when I'd run this as date in R using Lubridate. Lubridate is a package that it's a library in R which is very useful in dealing with dates. So it did give the output. However, it used the YMD function in Lubridate and then said that we have to specify that our date indeed is in the format of month, day, and year. This was a little odd. I would have used the MYD/MDY option directly in Lubridate, and that's kind of helpful. So if Lubridate is a pretty flexible library, so if your date is in the format where month precedes date and then year, you can specify that using MDY or YDM or however combination. So we do not need this extra argument that ChatGPT here provided. So again, sometimes the code is too cut and dry, may not be what we might be using if we are accustomed to coding in that language. However, it does give the right answers. Another very useful feature of ChatGPT is that it excels in some ways in giving prompts. So here I gave ChatGPT a prompt that, let's say I have a guest speaker in my business analytics class, and that guest speaker works in human resource analytics. Provide me some prompts to ask the speaker certain questions. And it actually came up with a really nice list of 10 questions, some of which could be used in a real life context. So for example, can you give us an overview of your current role in human resource? Again, this is how you would start an interview. And then how do you use data and analytics to inform and improve HR strategies? Again, these are generic questions. However, the AI algorithm was able to figure out the context, the subject of the interview, and was able to ask the right questions appropriate to the setting of an analytics course. So I think this is a phenomenal tool in that ways. And this could be used to have prompts for exams, as well as prompts for programmatic exercises. It could be used as an interview prep tool also. You could ask certain questions and see how ChatGPT would answer it, and then fine-tune your answer. All in all, it seems that, yes, there are tremendous cases in which ChatGPT could be used blindly in copying and pasting stuff, in cheating, and working with text. A lot of people have equated ChatGPT to calculators. I think it is a lot more disruptive than calculators. Calculators were just helping with computation. ChatGPT can do so much more. And what's interesting is that because of the nature of the algorithm, it's going to keep learning from itself. And the more people use it, the more its training set will be, the wider training set, and the more accurate it could be. On the flip side, though, it could also be trained on misinformation, and it could provide factually incorrect information to the user too. But I think that OpenAI is probably having some human-assisted truth checkers, but then where do you draw the line? What gets filtered? What doesn't get filtered? So there are some of those ethical issues that would come up in use of ChatGPT, but then it could help generate speeches, prompts, blog posts. People are already writing blog posts using ChatGPT. So, on a humorous note, I asked ChatGPT again. We all know that there's a paid subscription, so why should I pay for ChatGPT Premium? It gave me some reasons. Then I asked how would it benefit a college student, and the premium plan right now is $42 per month, and it gave a whole list of ways in which a college student could benefit from ChatGPT. It is time saving, it is study aid, it is a writing assistant. And there are again tools that do that. Grammarly is a writing assistant, study aid. There are resources where people have posted answers, etc. ChatGPT kind of centralizes it and hopefully is more open and transparent about the fact that this is AI generated content based on what's already available on the internet. And then I asked, like, how can ChatGPT help with my intuitive programming class? Again, it gave syntax assistant, code snippets, debugging, conceptual assistance, project assistance, etc. And then I asked ChatGPT to write a sonnet in the style of Shakespeare about the benefits of AI over human intelligence, and it generated an interesting sonnet as well. But it seems that a better use of ChatGPT is not to prevent its use. It is coming in, AI revolution is happening, but to see how it can be integrated better at the college level, at the graduate level, even at the school level, with helping students do some of the memorization parts of ChatGPT, but then being able to do higher level critical thinking skills. So I don't think it's going to supplant critical thinking, but it can be a good complement. And as we have seen in this brief video, sometimes the response quality depends on the prompt quality. So being able to ask the right prompts goes a long way in using this tool well. So this is, again, a very quick overview of ChatGPT from a college professor's perspective. Again, I teach graduate level and undergraduate level classes, and there's a big concern in the academy about the potential about cheating. Yes, it does exist, but the potential to collaborate with it and use ChatGPT effectively also. And I think that benefit far outweighs the negative effect of ChatGPT.